we gonna go
So I think
We're open mics. Very
Yeah,
good.
it's open.
Good evening and welcome to the regular bi-monthly town board meeting for the town of Tuxedo. Today is Monday, December 12th, 2022. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. Can you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be a minor change in the sequencing of the meeting. The discussion on town reorg, I'm going to drop down to the bottom below public comments because we do need to have some discussion on some salaries and positions that would require an executive session, and I didn't want people to have to wait to, although I don't expect that to take a long time, out of courtesy to people at home and to Jerry here in our audience. I wanted to give you the option if you wanted to wait for us to finish that. So again, the town reorg will be dropped to just below the public comments. So first, we'll ask for public comments on our two agenda items. The first one is a resolution to introduce a draft local law entitled escrow policy and to set a public hearing. And then we have our annual resolution to approve towing license applications for 2023. I will let you know that if you have some questions as we're discussing the escrow policy, we'll do our best to answer them. But now would be a time if you had a chance to review that to ask any questions. So, Marissa, if you could just manage to see if there's any public comment about the escrow policy. Does any one of us want to tackle just giving us an executive summary of why we're doing an escrow policy? And
You're looking at me, so.
I don't know.
Or do you-
No,
you're looking at Michelle.
I could. Michelle, you want to give us?
Sure. Well, many projects have to go before the planning board. Not all projects do. Some just require a simple building permit. But for those that require planning board or zoning board approval, then the consultants are brought in with that process. And this is for the applicants to put money up front so that we can pay the consultants.
So consultants would be
At
the
the
engineer, maybe
engineer,
attorneys.
Town planner,
Town planner, and
architectural if necessary.
helps them to understand the scope of their project. And, you know, a lot of that advice helps people understand whether the code accommodates what they're trying to do. So it's to help the applicant understand the scope of their project and make sure that they're being guided correctly. I guess that's the executive summary.
That's the executive summary, so to
Yeah.
speak.
So with that, if anybody has any further comment on that, otherwise we're gonna launch into that. And the approving of the towing licenses every year, companies that do towing that meet the requirements, I guess there's a part of it is distance from the town of Tuxedo. How fast they can respond to a towing call, respond to an auto accident, those kind of things. Howard, is there anything else I'm missing about that, about what the qualifications to be a towing company in the town would be?
Well, the local law establishes a variety of requirements for towing companies to participate in this project or process. And keep in mind, this involves situations where the police are required to call a tow company to come and deal with the situation. People are always able to choose their own towing company. If you need a tow, you call whoever you want. But if there's a situation involving the police and the owner of the vehicles doesn't know a towing company to call, the town has a roster, a rotating system that certain eligible towing companies that get on the roster get the call.
It's like we were saying, an auto accident where, you know, it's public safety, they have to clear the road, something like that. I'm sure that falls in that category.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, well, that's the preamble, and the local law will spell a lot of that out. So anybody raising their hand there, Marissa, to make a public comment or anything? No? Jerry, we good? Okay. Our lone wolf in the house. Got to check with Jerry. All right, so let's get into it then. First agenda item, resolution to introduce draft local law entitled escrow policy. It's at the public hearing. So as we just gave an overview of what the escrow policy was about, and Howard had incorporated some comments that we had added there. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it in the packet.
It's page 12.
Page 12, thank you. Did we want to read through this? What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think we need to read through it tonight necessarily, unless
Okay, right,
we're introducing it.
right.
People who are interested can read it for themselves. I mean, it's a lot of stereo manual stuff.
I did have one question about it. Do we have the amounts, or the amounts are based on, the project? I see that here, but do we have to set amounts?
We have to set amounts. We have recommended amounts, which were in the first draft of this. And
Right.
one of the things that we've had trouble with in the past is if the amounts are set in the law, then we have to change the law to adjust the amounts. So
Future.
what we've said, we've established the categories here. And then we're going to say to be set by resolution of the town board at the reorg, just like we do with parking fees and what it costs to rent the train station and all the rest of it. So the amounts aren't in here anymore. That's one of the things I asked Howard to take out, so that when we do the reorg, or if we need to do it between now and January 1, we'll have a special meeting and do it. We'll set the amounts for the year.
Okay. And
But
then
what
how
was
much-
That's an annual event.
It doesn't have
Yes.
to be.
Okay,
Doesn't have to be.
okay, okay,
And then there's
that's what I understood.
some small print here. If somebody shows up with a, I don't know, giant 6,000 acre housing development that looks like it's gonna need more escrow than the standard amount, the boards can say, hey, you guys gotta pony up more, because this is gonna be a bigger project.
So that's done in a TAC meeting for the most part.
Okay.
And with consultation with the chairs of the different
Okay.
boards. So what we recommended will probably be what we put in for January 1st, I think, but we'll discuss that again.
We'll review it
Right.
then, but yes. And then there's also, there's a provision in here for appeal. If the board comes to you and says, okay, great, you want to put in a swimming pool, can I have $1 million, please? There's a provision for you to say this isn't reasonable.
Right.
The other item that we changed from the first draft was the percentages for
Refill.
refilling the escrow. Let me see where that is.
Page
Oh, yeah,
13,
so
item
that's where
E.
Yep.
Right. So hopefully, if the initial escrow was set at what proved to be a reality-based number, when anything gets to around 25%, then the chair would let the applicant know that, of course, they'll be receiving invoices along the way, and just let them know that we need to get further deposit. And the chair will help to establish what that needs to be, but that the minimum needs to be at 25%. That's how I interpret that.
Oh, I thought we lowered it. No? It's
It
25?
was 75, I believe.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so we lowered it to 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has to go back to 100%, whatever the initial was?
No.
Okay.
It gets maintained at 25%, no less than 25%.
I knew it was lowered.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless,
that puts a lot of onus on the building clerk or whatever to anticipate consultant bills coming in.
well, I think it says in here, that the bills have to come in. Is there a condition in here about?
15 days, I think.
Yeah.
really. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See how it goes.
Yeah.
We can always change it.
So again, if upon further review, additional edits are proposed by anybody on the board, no problem.
While I'm thinking of it, Howard, would it make sense to this 25% level? Could we put in something to say if, or as deemed more workable by the town board?
I thought it
Yeah.
did.
Well,
I just think it's like, if you get to 25% and you don't know all the consultant bills coming in, if they come in, that could be down to zero. I don't know, it just seems like,
well, keep in mind that this is only an escrow, and that under the town's law, the applicant is responsible for
right.
all of the costs anyway. And so if the escrow worked down to zero and the project was complete in terms of the approval process, the approval wouldn't be granted until any and all outstanding fees have in fact been paid. So that's your fail-safe. And it's likely that situation would only arise at the end of the process, because if the process isn't over and the escrow is now down to zero, under this law, the chairman will notify the applicant, hey, your escrow is down to zero. You have 10 days to bring it back up to the 25% level. And that typically would be sufficiently in advance of any further work being done by the consultants.
Plus, the consultants are operating not with a blank check. I mean, they can't just
Correct.
bill ridiculous amounts of hours or that haven't been projected to the applicant and to the chair. So, you can't expect some mystery bill to just come in that wasn't anticipated. And
Right.
I believe there is language in here that spells that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we're going from no escrow here to having escrows and a lot of guardrails here to make sure that the town is never on the hook for paying somebody else's consultant fees. So
Yeah, and as I said, at the end of the day, and as the present situation, the final approval isn't granted until the building department has determined that in fact all outstanding bills have been paid.
right. So if somebody's already invested that much from the escrow,
You hope
they
they
want to make sure
continue.
their project's finished. So. Okay, so any further discussion on this? And again, it doesn't mean we won't have further discussion, but we need to establish a public hearing date. And I'm proposing the 28th, because I think we've really spent a lot of time on this already, and I don't think we'll have many changes, if any, between now and the 28th, but.
We have a question.
Oh,
Isn't it the 20?
board recognizes Jerry Matola.
It's gonna be the 26th.
Thank you.
It's gonna be 26th.
When you're setting up the escrow account,
Oh, the 28th of this.
I know you have the plein air event, and right now the chamber's holding the money for the plein air. Can you put that in an escrow account or not?
This is only escrow, what we're talking about right now, Jerry, is escrows for applications before the building department. So I think we could consider your suggestion on another topic. Would escrows, I'm not exactly understanding your point, but it's not.
Yeah, well,
Plein air made money. So if they put that money back in an escrow account, then that money can be used for next year for the plein air event.
Right, but I think, and this would be a Howard question, I think the reason that the Chamber of Commerce is holding that funds is the town can't.
correct.
So,
And that's right.
so an
we
escrow
can do it
account
for other town events
certainly
if we sponsor
could
with them.
be set up, but it would sound to me like that would be something that the Chamber's lawyers would have to do.
I just want to,
But it's
this
it's
is,
a separate
it's a
subject.
separate conversation, and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse the issue,
Yeah.
but we've heard
On
you.
track. I'll check into it.
But,
Separate subject.
so I'd like to make a motion to hold the public hearing on the 28th
Of December.
of December. That's the Wednesday meeting, that's, because the Monday is the day after Christmas, so.
Right?
Right.
Perfect.
We good with that?
Yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
this says 7:30, we do it at 7:30, we're gonna do it at 7.
7, because we always start out with the public hearing.
Right, okay, just
Okay, so, I'm sorry, that resolution is in here,
page 11.
came first, okay. So the resolution introducing local law and providing for public notice and hearing, be it resolved that an introductory local law titled establishing, oh, this is actually going to happen on the day of, right?
No, this is the
This is-
introduction resolution.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
for the public hearing.
All right, be it resolved that an introductory local law entitled establishing an escrow policy and its administration be and hereby is introduced by town supervisor before the town board of the town of Tuxedo and the county of Orange and the state of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of aforesaid proposed local law be laid upon the desk of each member of the board, which we have. And be it further resolved that the board hold a public hearing on said proposed local law at Town Hall, 1 Temple Drive, Tuxedo, New York, at 7 PM on Wednesday, December 28th, 2022. And be it further resolved that the clerk publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Tuxedo of said public hearing at least 10 days prior thereto. On a motion by myself, Ken English, I'll ask for a second.
Second.
Seconded by Michelle Lindsay. The resolution, I'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? No. 5 ayes. The motion passes. Thank you. All right, second agenda item.
Page 16.
So this is the resolution approving license permits for 2023 towing license permits. I'll make a motion, I'll ask for a second in a moment, that the applications for towing licenses submitted by the following businesses having received approval of Detective Stefan Christian are hereby approved beginning January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. We have 5 entities here. NJV Auto Center in Sloatsburg, New York, Apple Auto Body in Monroe, New York, Loyal Tire and Auto, Monroe, New York, Itzy's Collision, Southfields, New York, and Freeman's Auto Service, Harriman, New York. All 5 have paid the $500 fee. Do I have a second on that?
A second.
Seconded by Maria May. Any discussion on that?
Just, it's nice to see a local company get on the list again.
Yeah.
That would be Itzy's
Yep.
and Southfields. Any further discussion?
No?
No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5 ayes. Okay. Like I said, we'll move to monthly reports. Marissa, you ready?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start off with the menorah lighting and reception. It's at the Tuxedo train station, Thursday, December 22nd at 6 p.m. There is an electronic recycling program, once again, at the Highway Department. There's, all electronics are accepted except TVs, which it's very difficult to get rid of TVs. I have a lot of calls with inquiries, and basically, I have a list of places you can take them, but you have to pay. So there's 3 transfer stations in Orange County that are open to any Orange County resident. We charge about $20 per television. Another option is Best Buy. They used to take TVs for free, but not anymore. They charge $29.99, and they limit 2 per household per day. But they do accept a whole slew of electronics for free at Best Buy year-round. So that's an option too. The town and county tax bills are being printed as we speak. I will go to the county Goshen Government Center to pick the bills up. I put the stamps on them and I mail them out. And the tax warrant for this year is dated December 28th, and that is the day that I'm allowed to start collecting for the town and county taxes starting in January. And just a reminder, we have online payment option, which is great. Last year, I collected around 2 million through the online payment. So it's electronic check or credit or debit card. And I now have credit card readers at my window. I have one for the town clerk account and one for the tax collecting account. So it's nice to be able to say,
We're in the
sure.
modern world.
Yes, we're in the modern world. Sure, we accept cards. And the company that we use, Forte, there's no charge. They tack on a fee, and that's how that company gets paid. And they send daily reports, all the deposits, goes right into the appropriate accounts, and they've been great to work with.
So the fee, who pays the fee?
The consumer, customer.
Is that a flat rate, or is it
So
based
for-
on a percentage of the tax?
Electronic check, there's a flat fee of $1.75, and debit card, I believe, is $4.95, and credit card is a percentage, I believe, 3%. The court charges, I think, 9% to pay by card, so I feel like you're getting a good deal. And it's convenient, too. So. And I think that's all I have.
Can you tell me what the days for the recycling, electronic recycling are again?
December 15th to January 15th.
Oh, a whole month.
December 1st, I'm sorry.
Can you turn your mic on,
It doesn't, turn my mic on?
please?
Rewind it. December 1st to January 15th.
Okay, thank you.
And that's the bin you have at the highway department?
Yes, that's the bin that the people sneaking in to put their, all their computers and electronics end up throwing when nobody's looking. Their TVs in, that we have probably 8 or 10 now that we're gonna have to deal with, but yes, that's the bin.
So the TVs, just to be clear, the flat screen you do take, or no?
No, apparently we don't take those.
No flat screens? No. So I thought in the old days it was the old cathode ray tubes, the big old heavy ones
It
that you
used to
didn't
be.
want.
That's the problem, but it's too hard to explain that. So the answer is no TVs.
Yeah,
Oh,
none,
okay.
no, none of that. What
But
about a monitor?
computer monitors?
Right, I was gonna say, how about,
Monitors, not the old type, not the big,
Yeah, the old Sony
From the
Trinitron.
70s.
right, not that. The newer flat screen type monitors, yes.
So if it's more than 3 inches thick,
Don't bring it,
don't even bring it.
don't even,
How about that for a
Good.
mnemonic?
get your tape out, measure it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Doing 7/8, you know.
I
Okay.
always liked the old big TVs, were great. I'm dating myself, but that one you used to go shoot rats to the dump, you could shoot those TVs and they blow up.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun.
We don't want any of that.
You're oversharing.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Marissa. Let's pass the baton to the right, and Rob Dolbaum.
Well, good evening, everybody. We are, as you can see outside, we spent a little time plowing and getting snow and ice cleaned up. I think we're gonna have a little more the same on Thursday. They're calling for another storm similar to what we just had. We are still picking up leaves till the 15th. So tomorrow morning, we will be out picking up leaves. If they aren't too frozen and they aren't too hard to get up, we will get them. Not a lot left. We've picked up almost all the leaves in town, so it's isolated piles. That was how
Very good.
and that's it. The January 2nd, our tree truck will be in for 3 months that we normally rent it, and we will start our tree trimming process again. That will start right in Laurel Ridge where we left off last year. We'll just continue from there and keep proceeding along Laurel Ridge and Clinton Woods. Then we'll go up to the Monbassia area and get that done. Finish that, that'll bring us all the way back to starting back in town again, which will probably be about 4 more years from now, 4 or 5 years from now. So by then, it's a 10-year cycle that we will be trimming and maintaining the tree, unless you have a problem tree that's on town property. You have a ash tree that died from emerald ash borer. That was your favorite tree until the ash borers took it, and now it's the town's tree all of a sudden. Those types of trees we will pick up. We will cut and maintain. So,
So I have a question. So if we see a tree that really is contaminated and is about to die because it is a white ash that's got that bug, should we tell you about it? I didn't think so, but I will.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because there's one in Murphy's Field that's going to fall right onto their driveway going in. It's basically falling like
right,
pretty
they
consistently.
shed
They-
more than just.
It's all shed already. Now it's going down, so.
Yeah,
And
branch
it's
breaks here,
it'll
branch breaks
contaminate
there.
others.
Yeah, they very rarely just break and fall over. They just kind of rot and fall down.
Yeah,
But yes, yeah, Murphy Field, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
okay.
If anybody knows of a tree that's, because I have a few now, and I've been putting the people off till January when we get the bucket truck, but now we're, that's coming, it's right around the corner, so.
So the trees you trim is there a certain distance from the curb line that is kind of like a cutoff point?
What we consider our right-of-way, which is usually depending on the maintenance zone, because the right-of-way is only what we maintain. If we cut the grass 20 feet, 50 feet off the side of the road, that's our right-of-way. If we don't touch anything past the blacktop, our right-of-way is the blacktop. So it would be in our right-of-way. Now, somebody has one on the edge of the road, and it was always their property till it died, and it's touching the road, well, we could say that's in our right-of-way, yeah.
Because it's becoming a hazard then, right?
Right, and we're not going in your backyards. We're not going on your property. We're not doing anything like that.
Thank you.
And that's about all we have going on. Yes, there's still mulch and compost at the field, if anybody's out there gardening.
There was somebody there the other night, pitch dark, loading up the truck.
I just put another load of compost in, yeah.
Word got out.
So,
Thank you.
we will be starting, hopefully in the beginning of January, we'll be starting back on the rock pile, starting to separate the rocks and the garbage, the wood, the rocks, the metal, and everything that's in it. That'll start again, which will bring us back to May, beginning of June, where we should have clean that set up and get ready for next year. Screening next year. We'll have to put on our list of things to do. May probably test the soil we screened last year to move it again so that we have room to do another, I think maybe 2 more years, and we should be.
How close are we to finishing that project?
2 years, I think, Maria.
Okay.
2 more times.
That's about a 5-6 acre part of the property, would you guess, Rob?
Yeah, 8 acres, 10 acres, somewhere in there.
So-
Not a lot.
We'll be regaining the use of that property and,
Right, well, we're down, we've substantially cleaned this site up.
oh yeah.
We're to virgin ground, I would say 45% of the property. So,
And how long have you been doing it?
3 years,
3 years?
Yeah.
So it's a 5-year project?
right.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
So I was in receipt of reports from justices. Obviously, Mercy gave us a report from the town clerk. I'll go with the supervisor's update. Tomorrow, I have, working with Chief John Trezino, we have 2 interviews for full-time police officers, one scheduled for 11 a.m., one scheduled for 4 p.m. Both candidates are experienced on-the-job officers in other jurisdictions, so we have high hopes that those 2 officers will be have a positive review and possibly join our force. I met with Rob and Sean Hoffman at the train station the other day. Sean, actually, this evening, I was hoping we were going to do a resolution to approve,
Put in another
Oh,
business.
the RFP,
yeah,
under new business.
yes. So Robin, Sean and I just out there to develop specifications to get that project going. We went top to bottom on the building, and Sean definitely has it, so we can move that forward if we authorize that this evening. And we've set Orange, the Tuxedo LDC grant orientation is set for Tuesday, January 17th here in Town Hall. So that'll give people an understanding of what are fundable projects and what the goal of that LDC is. So that's more information to come, but that is set for January 17th. That's all I got. I'll pass it to Michelle.
Okay, as far as the community choice aggregation rollout, we are in the public outreach and education phase of the program, and the CCA administrator, Jewel Energy, is leading the presentations around town, and Marissa's been very helpful. Climate Smart Task Force has been helping. Upcoming meetings will be posted on the website. They'll be held in January and February, and we'll post them in Photo News. Jewel will do that, and social media, TPFYI. So we'll get the word out as much as possible. And still looking at hopefully a April, May closing on that program. On November 30th, I participated in a countywide meeting of Climate Smart and Conservation Advisory Committees. We met with the Orange County Planning Department. We all shared our projects and goals that each municipality is working on. So that was very helpful. And Deirdre and I are working on things, so I'll let her talk about that later.
So Maria, then Deirdre, then Jay.
Yeah, so I just spoke to Carrie today, and I have to set up a meeting with you and her to really go over the ARPA money, because I think 2023, the end of 2023 is the end of that. And so I think that we need to meet and decide how much money is there, what projects are we using, and then just do it. I think, I think that's something that really needs to be done. Since I am working during your office hours, we can do, an online meeting or something like that during the day. Carrie offered to come stay late. Obviously, we're on a late schedule for 2 years now, so I don't get out till 4. So, but we can do it early in the morning before school starts, or, something like that, or in the evening if we can do it, or we can do it online. But I think we need to get going on that, so we're not flat-footed and lose the money.
No, we won't do that. Thank you, Maria.
That's about it.
We'll go Deirdre, then Jay.
Oh, okay. So we're on schedule to have our holiday concert on Saturday, this Saturday, but the time has changed to 4:30 because one of the musicians is ill, so they had to replace one of the musicians. So we're busy trying to get the word out that the time has changed, but we have sent out a lot of information to local organizations about this upcoming reception, concert and reception, so we're looking forward to a nice event for the town. Quick update on my other two favorite projects, Eagle Lake, which Rob and I are working on. We requested the report from the Department of DEC, yes, to find out what they actually had found on the lake. So they're reviewing it and they're going to send it to us. So we're continuing to work on that. I just received, thank you, Jay, the letter from the Department of Transportation on Long Meadow Road, another favorite topic. And we have been denied a reduction in the speed limit. So they did say that they would take the sign down now. So I guess we'll start with that. And Howard, I will send this to you so we can review it and figure out why both the town of Warwick and the town of Tuxedo requested that the speed limit be reduced and why we weren't able to get that done. So we'll have to continue to look at that.
Okay.
I did get the letter from, the other thing is I did get the letter from the school district about the speed limit, school zone speed limit. So we're going to submit that to the Department of Transportation also. That's it on the roads. And in terms of what we're working on with the economic development, Michelle and I met with the Department of,
Orange County Partnership.
thank you, and showed them a lot of the properties that we own around town to get some ideas of some of the things that they think would be interesting to prospective business owners and opportunities. And we're hoping that that will coincide with some of the other efforts that we're doing in terms of the Greenway plant grant, when that is complete, and the Burgess study on the hamlet. And so we're basically compiling all this information to really try to come up with a business plan or a development plan for the entire corridor of Route 17. And lastly, I wrote a press release on the Tuxedo Farms, which we have sent over to Related to review, and then we will publicize in all of our local papers about the fact that we, passed the special permit. So that's all I have to say right now.
I have a quick question. You mentioned in the letter you got from, I believe it was State DOT, about the rejection of the request to lower the speed limit on Long Meadow Road, but they said we can remove the sign?
Yes, they did, yes.
So remove the 55-mile-an-hour speed sign?
Yeah. And hope people don't go past the 55, that's actually what they said.
So I think it's 45
On Sterling Mine.
on Sterling Mine.
Yes, it
So
is.
the thought would be when they make that turn that they kind
They
of
don't
assume
hit it,
that it's
which
still 45 or whatever.
Yeah, they're hoping that they'll,
Strange accommodation, but
I would discuss that with the chief before we start tearing down signs.
Well, actually, it's not us to tear down signs. It has to be the Department of Transportation.
county's
has
gonna- or the
to
state's gonna
take
tear
the
it down?
sign down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we can't do that. Yeah, we can't do that.
Okay,
I thought about it.
don't get caught, do it at night.
and with the school zone, we're trying to get basically, I understand that at one point it was a school zone sign there, at least that's what it was reported by residents, and that apparently the sign was knocked down or whatever.
According to the Department of Transportation, they never had zoned that part of Route 17 as being a school zone. The town had initiated that, and it was never allowed by the, formalized. So we have to go through the review by the New York State Department of Transportation. They would designate it, and they would then put up the signage. On the roads that are, in the campus of the school, we could do whatever we wanted there in terms of lowering school districts or making it one way or putting in sidewalks or flashing lights. We could do that as a town, but when it comes to 17, we have to go through the Department of Transportation for the state of New York.
Thank you, that clarifies it for me.
Does that work? Is that only for, does that work, the school zone only for the times where school is in session? So it would be like or is it all the time that it's lowered?
I don't know the answer to that. It's an interesting question, though. Or even on the weekends,
Right. Unless there's a game or something. There's
Yeah.
an activity.
Yeah. But if that were the case, you would hope they'd have at least some lighting or some kind of indicator to say when the speed limit was in effect.
Right.
But let's see they weren't very enthusiastic about us applying for the speed limit, the speed zone anyway, so.
Thank you, Jay.
I've been doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, but nothing very interesting, so I won't bore you.
Thank you. Okay, so that was town board update minutes. I didn't have any edits or additions. So I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular bi-monthly town board meeting held on November 28th. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Jay. Again, any additions or edits?
No?
No? All in favor of approving?
Aye.
5 ayes. Vouchers. I'll make a motion, ask for a second in a moment, that the following vouchers haven't been audited by the town board, and the pile is, oh, okay, thank you. Remember to sign it, please. Following vouchers haven't been audited by the town board are hereby approved for payment. Claims number 201-292-0884 through 201-292-0945. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Michelle. Open for discussion. Any discussion on those? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. We're up to public comments. Jerry's already got a microphone.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Rob and his men for helping us decorate the train station.
Thank you, Rob.
Pink lights and the star.
Once again, thank you to the chamber for
Yes, thank you so much.
not only supplying them, but I'm sure you've been on ladders putting them up there, and it looks beautiful, so thank you so much. I heard a lot of positive comments, and at the Christmas tree lighting, it just was really fabulous. Thank you.
As far as the school's speed zone, I know there was a sign on 17.
Yeah.
And
There was, but they claimed that that was not their sign. That was the town sign. You believe me? Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
was the state of New York, I believe anything.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Howard got the same answer I did, because we both independently, asked them, and that was never us, that was the town, and that's why when it came down, they couldn't go back up. So,
Okay.
Can somebody wrestle that from, because if he starts singing, I don't know what we're gonna do. Okay, any public comment from virtual audience? Okay, I'm going to move to other business. Howard, I don't know if you saw my email. I was hoping that we could have a resolution to approve Sean's work. Did you see my email about that, Howard?
No, I didn't, but I haven't seen Sean's work either. Does the board have something from Sean?
I think could you check your email possibly, Howard? Maybe we could craft this right now. It's a pretty simple statement, just.
I mean, Sean came up with a basic list of items to be performed. Repair of the siding and new gutters and fixing the bathrooms and power washing and some other stuff. And he's basically asking for approval to move forward with putting an RFP together.
Okay. When did you send that email? I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, here it
It was, I think,
10:35 on Monday.
That's today.
is, today.
Today, 10:35.
Okay. I got it.
Authorize him to put the bid packet together.
Yeah, we're authorizing him to put a bid packet together.
Yeah. Okay. So the resolution would be to authorize the town engineer to put together a bid package with the specifications outlined in his email of Friday, December 9th, 2022.
So moved.
And I don't think we're ready to set a bid date, though.
No, I think he just wanted us to authorize him to put it
Okay.
together.
Okay, so that,
And then he'll come back to us and we'll review it. But-
okay, fine. Yep, that's good.
Okay,
I have a
so,
question.
please.
So when we first put the bid, we're asking them to do all these things and it was way more expensive than we had money to pay. Are we now going to ask for all those things again?
no,
Or-
he's, you know, now we using his engineering services, we went out there and did a more in-depth field assessment, and he will subsequently even go deeper. And I think he's also gonna break it out into the different jobs, right, Rob?
Right.
So that if something is really an outlying expense, we could unilaterally tell all the bidders, oh, we're dropping that part of the job.
That's a good.
Part
that's
of
good.
the issue that we had last time is it was a single lump sum.
Right,
Oh,
right,
so this
right.
will segment it out.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my question was.
yes, and
Yeah,
so,
okay.
and we need to look at that. I mean, Sean's gonna put it together and then we'll
Right.
review it, but then absolutely, we'll look at it, there'll be individual line items and we'll reserve the right to pick and choose from the menu of
Oh,
what we
good,
want.
that's great.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But even in an initial analysis, we're expecting it to be far less than what the
Yeah, I would-
$215
I would hope so,
so on $1,000, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot less.
because I could do it for
Yeah,
200.
no, well,
And then we'd have to pay another 3 to fix it, but,
Yeah. No, I'm pretty good at that.
okay.
And you know, I
Okay,
know
so-
the one thing that I forgot, I know Sue Sher is online. She let me know that 175 seniors have done the survey, which is a pretty sizable number.
Based on how many do we think we have?
I don't.
I just want to approve this motion
Yeah, yeah,
first.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll
thought
go
we
back to
already done
that. No,
that.
we didn't actually vote on it. So
right.
making a motion to approve Sean, town engineer, to put together a bid package and as was mentioned earlier. So all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No.
Sorry
Okay,
about that.
no
I thought
worries.
we
That
had that.
motion is passed.
Oh,
So
there's
please,
Sue.
go ahead, Maria.
So Sue?
You're muted.
Sue. You're still muted.
Okay,
There you go.
so we sent out approximately 425 or hand delivered 425 envelopes with surveys in it. And as of today, we have received 178 responses, which brings us to about 39%, 38, 39%, which is a really good amount. The data has been entered into the computer and is being analyzed and reviewed, and sometime, probably end of January, we'll be able to send out a report. We're working, on the structure of the report too, and we'll be able to send out the report with our observations and recommendations. And some of them should be very interesting. It was very amazing to see the kinds of things that people were saying and thinking. So I appreciate anybody, all the people who handed out surveys to other people, and those of you who were in the age group and completed it. And
Is there a close date to that, Sue, or are you still accepting any?
still accepting, yeah. I sort of thought that when I got to 180 that maybe we'd stop, but if there are some people who, we could still do it and just add the numbers as they come in, but I don't want it to go on too much longer. Because each time a new one comes in, the computer has to do its whole rigmarole, and the charts look different and the numbers look different.
So if I remember, Sue, when we were first talking about this, part of this was to communicate with Anne Marie Maglione, Director of Orange County Department of the Aging.
Right, I wrote to her last week and told her just what I'm telling you, that we, how many people we've sent things out to, how many we received so far. I suggested that she also contact Silver Dollars because she was wanting to come down and do a presentation to the town or Silver Dollars, and that this might be a good time to come down to talk about the kinds of things that that the county could do. Because it was very clear from what people have said, they don't know what the town offers. People don't know what the county offers. And we have to do a lot more publicity about what we offer, no less the things that we think we need.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you for remembering. Any other business?
I don't have anything.
Okay, if there's no other business from the board, again, we have the reorg document that we will be, that we've been working on. There's a couple of items in here, Howard, that have to do with personnel and salaries. So I was going to suggest that we go into an executive session and that we adjourn to the building department. I could call you on the phone there and just not have to go through a breakout session in the Zoom. If
Okay.
that works for you. So,
Yep.
so Howard, again, just help me express
Yep,
this.
the motion would be to go into an executive session pursuant to the Public Officers Law for purposes of discussing compensation for employees.
That is exactly right. And I want to take I'll make the motion and do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Seconded by Deirdre. Can we vote on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so for the public, we're going to go into an executive session. I can't exactly say how long it would take. We're not taking any action on anything tonight because the reorg actually will be formally presented at our first meeting in January. So, of course, you can choose to stick around, but again, you won't miss anything because the reorg will be formally presented at our first meeting in January. So thank you if you're leaving, and if you have the wherewithal to stick around, we'll see you when we get back. Thank you. So Marissa, I guess you could pause the recording.